Listen, if you're a B2B company, you just know that it's hard to make Google Ads work. And the reason behind it is because people don't really search a lot for your service. It's not a day-to-day thing like a plumbing or roofing. It's something high ticket, something B2B, so only business owners can search for you, and only with that specific niche solution that you have. And you're stuck right now. You might be getting some leads, but you're definitely not closing deals from your Google Ads, and you're not even breaking even. And so in this video, I'm going to show you these 3 things that can possibly go wrong, that you're possibly doing wrong. There's nothing else other than these 3 things that you need to fix so you can start running them profitably and making it. And not only just making it, you will make it big. Who am I to say this? Well, my name is Shoaib. I've been running Google Ads for businesses for the past 2 years, and now I've created AI agents that are trained on more than $40 billion in Google Ads spent. Number one thing that we've identified that stops you from making more money in Google Ads is that volume gap. And so if you look at this, right, plumbers or someone who's a roofer gets 301,000 searches a month globally, right, on Google Ads. And that makes sense because there are more people searching for it. Now, if you take your high-ticket service or your B2B Google Ads, there are probably far less people searching for it, something like 300 people. And it makes sense because the cost of it is then higher ticket. And so you might be told to spend a certain amount of money on Google Ads, but you don't know if it's the right budget to start with. You might be just overspending on your Google Ads. And to be able to determine that, you're going to use a tool that's called a keyword planner. Right? Google Ads keyword planner, you can find it inside Google Ads in the settings. Just tweak around, you'll find it. And so what you will be able to do here, you will be able to search the keywords, your services, into that query, and it will give you all of the statistics per month on average in the locations that you serve, right? So for example, you do self-service password reset software in the US, and it will tell you you're getting 1,600 searches, and here's the minimal amount that you can pay per click possibly, and here's the maximum amount that you can pay per click possibly. You'll calculate the average on that, and here's your cost per click, right? Same with other services and other services. If you search for SOC 2 compliance, if you're that type of company, you can simply calculate all of your searches there. And to make it easier on you, I have this prompt that you can paste in your AI. You can describe your services. You can see there are some inputs that you have to do. What it will do, it will give you all of the keywords that you need to possibly search for to get that monthly search count for yourself. And from then on, it's a simple math, and that's it. You're going to calculate how much money you should spend on Google Ads, right? So for example, here's my calculator. If you're getting, let's say you're getting about 650 searches a month or 750 searches a month, and you get roughly 40% share of those clicks, and that's the average. So I just advise you to use that number. And your average cost per click, let's say, is about $28. Then your maximum amount, I'm not saying minimum, maximum amount that you can spend on Google Ads for those high intent services right now, it's $8,400, right? That's the maximum amount. And now there's a caveat to that, which I'm going to explain right now. So once you search these keywords, right? SOC 2 compliant software, SOC 2 audit automation, get SOC 2 certified fast, right? You search these keywords up, you go ahead and paste those, and you calculate the number, and you're like, that's it. I'm going to spend $8,400 on Google Ads a month and not more anymore, like whatsoever. But that's wrong because there are searches that you don't know that people are searching for. That we can only go so far with the AI and just brainstorm on the searches. The real tests, first-party data, which is basically your data, will show the real results. And so once first you run this and you see that you're profitable, you see that people are actually now clicking on it, you then can broaden up the keywords. So instead of saying SOC compliance software, you just say SOC 2 compliance, right? And you will see that far more people search for that, but you might have a lot of tire kickers as well. And so what it will do, it will give you all of the searches that people are searching for you. So let's say someone searched for SOC 2 compliance, or what is SOC 2 compliance? You will pay for that click. I know you will pay for that, but you will also pay for those terms that will bring you money that you don't know yet. Something like, let's say someone types in SOC 2 compliance best software in the world, something like that, right? And you find that a lot of people search for that keyword. You now found a keyword that is golden and will just absolutely crush it for you, make you tons and tons of money. And so when it comes to this cap on Google Ads, this is only useful when you're not profitable yet, you haven't made it in Google Ads, and you want to see those wins before investing even more. So that's what you need to go for. And also, after doing this little exercise with math, calculating your max budget, you now know how many people search for you. And there are a lot of cases that you get less than 100 searches a month, or you get roughly 100 searches a month. You now know that you need to generate demand and not really capture it, right? There's two types of marketing you can do. And capture, so people already want it, and you just go ahead and show your service there. Put your service there, you don't even need an offer. But there's demand generation, and now you need to focus more on that, because just people are not searching for you. And so with demand generation, you need to have an offer, and it's a good signal to review offer. Do you have a solid offer? Is it not just list of services? Like if you say IT service, IT security service for your business, that's like 2% of people who are actually high intent and their visitors, they'll book. But if you make an offer, right, something like cut password reset tickets 40% in 60 days, or you do not pay, you'll get a much higher booking rates, and also you will now have a proven offer for people who are cold, right? Capture is people who are warm. Cold is just demand generation. So that's a quick bonus tip for you. And so now you're like, well, I have more marketing budget that I can spend. What do I do now? You simply go ahead to other different channels. That's where you can create demand. Google has its own demand generation channel. There's Meta and there's LinkedIn. There's a bunch of them. So I gave you actually a prompt, right? And after this video, there's a second link in the description with this giant document that goes through everything and every action item in this presentation. So you can go through it easily, copy paste the prompts into your AI and start fixing those leads. But essentially, here's a prompt that I'll link. It's just gonna figure out what channel will work for you best if you're getting the low searches amount on Google Ads. Grab it there. It's the second link in the description. Now, there's the second thing that we need to talk about. The second fix that you need to do is the message chain. Now, how it works. People search for your service, right? Then they click and they see your headline on your ad in Google Ads, and then they land to your page. What happens right now is that a lot of people have the same kind of concept, but it's not the same words. I'm going to give you an example. So if you search for self-serve password reset software, you will see an ad that says cut help desk costs today. Now that it's not really irrelevant, it's all relevant, like cutting help desks every single day, right? For people who use it. But it's not really congruent with the messaging. You'll confuse people. And same with your headline on your landing page, right? Your landing page headline, they will say, stop losing money on IT tickets. It's not necessarily wrong, IT tickets, but that's not what they're searching for. They're searching for SSPR, right? Self-service password reset. So you need to make sure you make it clear for that. And so to make it congruent, you need to change it, and maybe not like as exactly as in here, right? But you need to make sure if you include that word in the headline. So they're search for self-serve password reset. Your headline says self-serve password reset software, and your page headline says something like self-serve password reset live in a week, or whatever offer you have. But essentially, you need to make sure you mention that. And the question might be, well, what if I have this one landing page? How do I make 20 different landing pages for each of the keywords? And the answer is no. You can just use a tool called dynamic landing pages. If you have a web designer, he already knows about it. He can just implement it. But essentially, simply you go ahead and wherever people search for self-serve password reset, and this is your headline, right? You can also have SSPR, something like that, because it's the same thing. So people who search for SSPR, people who search for self-serve password reset or similar keywords will land on a similar headline that says like self-serve password reset software. And same with password reset tool, right? If someone searches for password reset tool, then your headline will say something like the password reset tool your help desk will thank you for. To reduce IT risks, if someone searches for how to reduce IT risks, then your headline will say, cut your password tickets by 40%, right? And you can make this little thing here, and you're going to give it to your web designer if you want. And then above, I'm not going to go into technicalities, but essentially the page will just change based on the ad that you're getting. That way you're making it congruent every single time. And so quick bonus on top of this is that on Google Analytics or somewhere in your software, you can track how many seconds people spend on your landing page. Let's say you identify that like they spend 30 seconds on average. 10 seconds before that, like at second 20, if they haven't clicked on your CTA, you will make a pop-up, right? They'll just see this pop-up immediately, and they'll say, hey, before you go, watch the 12-minute demo, right? And they will be able to kind of be able to warm again and may possibly watch the demo and then book a call. So that's a quick bonus that you can use to be able to drive more conversions from your landing page. But that was the second thing. Now there's the third thing, and it's absolutely vital for any ads that you run, especially right now that we're covering Google ads, and it's the funnel, right? And so here's a quick demonstration of the funnel. It's a rain, right? It's raining through the funnel, which means prospect coming into your funnel. And throughout the funnel, they exit. There are these leaks, right? There are these holes in your funnel that they're exiting from. And so essentially you're not getting any water inside, right? Because funnel is leaking. And that's the crucial mistake you can do. Everything before the click might be fine. Google does its own job. It's all congruent. But everything that happens after the click is leaking. It's just not converting. And that's the biggest thing. So what you can do is you need to fix each of them step by step. And I'm going to give you an action items right now to be able to fix it. So specifically for B2B. So first, for example, right, if you fix the problem with wrong search keywords here, right, you now fixed it and you get more water. Then you fix your message mismatch, the second point that we mentioned, and now you get even more water in. Now here comes the truth. You see, these fixes that I told you about only make up like maybe 10% of the entire funnel. What I'm about to tell you to do is going to make up for the rest, like 80% of the funnel. This is the most important part. This is the part that people just leak people, prospects. So we're going to cover it right now. First, when they click on your ad, they land on your page. And there are 3 types of landing pages that you can do for B2B. There are only 3 types, there's nothing else. First, it's a single landing page. It's just fast to build. It's just a landing page with your CTA, that's it. Second is a demo page. So let's say you're a B2B SaaS company and you actually have some interactive demo of your software that they can go before even logging in just to tweak around with it. That also works really well. But the winner is the VSL funnel, because if you're a B2B company, there's absolutely zero downside for you for having a VSL on your page. Zero downside. People who are already ready to book, they'll book click through anyway. They might not even watch the video, but you also get those people who are just interested, but are not really ready to book a call or contact you. They need to watch something and to consume something, and that's your perfect chance to do it. And so if you don't have a VSL right now, or you have a VSL, still need to follow this checklist that I'm going to give you that will determine if your VSL is good or not. Number 1, is there a real human on camera? This is very, very important. There's absolutely 0 point of having a VSL if you're just making some robots speak to you, because the whole point of the VSL is to make the customer closer to you. And the customer will get closer to you, closer to a sales call when they see an actual human in it, right? I call it a sales call before a sales call. And so you need to have a human in. Number 2, it runs roughly between 4 to 12 minutes, right? Less than 4 minutes, it's okay, but it's just is not enough. Definitely not enough. 4 to 12 minutes is the ideal spot where you can go in depth for people who want even more. Then the proof up front. Do you have your proof that you have for your company, your case studies up front in the beginning of the VSL, and your objections handled at the end, right? So in the beginning of the VSL, you need to make sure you demonstrate proof, and by the end of the VSL, you need to make sure you handle potential objections that they have. And you already have those list of objections because you train your sales team for those, right? So in number 4, obviously you have one clear call to action. Just make one clear call to action per VSL and that's about it. And if you have all of these 4, you're ready to ship the VSL and start making money. And so here's a quick formula that you can use. First, you do some promise. So you promise what's going to be in this video. You're going to demonstrate proof a little bit in the beginning. And then you're going to just find out the problem they have. You'll show the mechanism they solve. You show another piece of proof. Then you make your offer. You then handle potential objections. And then just CTA. Right? That's all that you need to do. That's all the VSL in a nutshell. And so now let's go back to this funnel. We have fixed the VSL and you get more water in. And so next thing to fix in your funnel is the form, right? The CTA itself. And so what most people have right now is they have this giant form, and that's fine, but I'm going to tell you how to make it look easier. You have this giant form with full name, work email, company name, company side, job title, or whatever the specific questions that you need to ask for your specific service. And they're just scared, right? They just leak. They just exit. They exit hardcore here. What you need to do here is you need to make sure it looks very nice. So for example, instead of having this giant form, you will have one field at a time. You will say, what's your work email? And they'll just boom, work email, right? And they'll ask you, what your company are you with? And then you type the company and how many password resets a month roughly you're doing. Just an example question, right? 7. And then it will get you in. It will simply direct you to book a call right here, right? You can see my times and they can book a call. And a quick tip bonus for that, if when you're making that qualification, just make sure you ask them as low amount of qualification questions as possible for you to determine if they're qualified or not. And that's it. Like, don't ask something that you wouldn't ask for qualification, if that makes sense, which happens a lot. Now, so we fixed another lead, right? We've now get even more water in, almost like 50%. And a quick note on this, please do not make them wait. Do not redirect them to a thank you page after they fill this giant form. They usually are redirected to a page that says, yeah, thank you for your message and we will contact you to it. Do not do that. Just direct them directly to calendar link. That way, people who are ready to book will book anyways. And who are not ready to book, at least you have their information. And what you can do with that information is the next thing that I'm going to tell you. The next fix is the follow-up, right? So immediately, as soon as they opt in and don't book, let's say they opt in, they go to your booking page, the calendar page, and they don't book. They just, I'm not ready for a call. They'll exit. Within 5 minutes, you need to call them. Within 5 minutes of that, so once they fill out a form, within 5 to 10 minutes, you need to call them immediately, rebook them in. And immediately, as soon as they jump off your page, they need to get an email from you immediately. Just like, hey, you forgot to book a call, whatever the benefits. And so here's what you need to do, right? So if they booked, you will send them right away confirmation. The day before the call, you get a reminder. And the morning of the call, you get another reminder. Once they opt in, though, people who opt in but don't book, within 5 to 10 minutes, you will call them. Same hour, you'll email them. And a week after, you'll keep emailing them their emails to be able to rebook them in, right? Every single week, right? You can also set up some email sequences for them, and same for people who showed but didn't close and had something like, hey, let me talk to my team, and you didn't really had a chance to book a call after a meeting, right? You book a call, book a meeting from a meeting, that's what I'll call it. And so once you fix this, you're basically done with your funnel, right? You're now more transitioning into sales, and that's not really your job, right? Your job is to just get them in. That's exactly how you do that in the most efficient and most profitable manner as possible. So with that said, I still have that document, the giant document, and I also have the link to this very dashboard in that second link in the description. You can grab it there, you can implement it in your Google Ads right now and start fixing everything. Now, if you're a B2B company and you want to try getting into Google Ads, or you've been running Google Ads and not profitable, you can click the first link in the description where we'll see if you qualify for a free split test offer where we'll completely for free go ahead to your funnel, bring our old funnel, split test it against your campaigns, and if we outperform, we'll offer you our pay-per-show call model. So simply book up first, link in the description if you're qualified for that. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video.